Good day, Ford fans. Today we have a customized Ford, and it's by Inno64 by MY64. Now, Inno64 generally makes diecast cars, and they're pretty good except for the use of decals. MY64 might be the best model maker in 164. They're resin models. Now that diecast isn't that good compared to resin. So hopefully this will be a nice one. But before we get into this, here's a little story I found from this paultan.org. The owner of this vehicle, Rosli Mohammed Saeed, or Said, I'm not sure, also goes by Ali Kuopa or something. He came up with this with the TRA Kyoto, K Miura, the guy behind Pandem. And yeah, let's see what else is on here. Sadly, the guy had his car stolen, so they had to buy another car to make this one. And then it's rolling on 15-inch rims. It's got the same four-cylinder from the AE86 Corolla. Got a 5-speed manual, 140 horsepower. So that's probably pretty good for an old car like this. Alright, so that's the story behind it. So thank you, paultan.org. Here's some images we will get to. Let's continue back to this box here. So I gotta take this stuff off. So the car has a name, Emotion. Alright. I'm seeing licensing. Interesting. I think it was a real company. I think they usually get licensing. But not on this one. Oh, by the way, that story also said this is the first Malaysian car to go to the Tokyo Auto Salon show. Alright, so Rocket Bunny is the other brand that TRA Tokyo does. Alright. Yeah, well, unfortunately, this is totally unnecessary. I just bought this expensive cardboard box, but it already has a rigid plastic box and more cardboard. So it's this mentality of people trying to sell you a more expensive product by selling you packaging, aka garbage, that I'm not a big fan of. I recently had to throw away like 7 kilos or 15 pounds of those plastic bases for all my Kyoshos and Aoshimas. And all that trash is going to end up in us. It ends up in the water table, the oceans, and the fish that you eat. I don't really eat seafood because of all the plastic in it. It's a shame. So that's the same as that expensive cardboard box. Alright, so is this taped together? No, it is not, so be careful. This thing might just fall to the floor if you lift it up like that. I'm now going to take this off the base. It's just going to get all messed up with my fingerprints, and if I drop it, I break the mirrors off. Yeah, alright. So I'm hoping those aren't decals. You know, with such a small amount of graphics, maybe they're tampo printed. We'll have to see. Seems like, actually, if I think about it, I think every resin model I have uses decals. I don't think I've ever seen tampo printing on a resin model, which is weird. I don't know why that is. I don't know if maybe the tampo process actually heats up the model, and so diecast can tolerate it, but maybe plastic bodies can't. Yeah, I don't know. Then again, I think I've seen printing on the bottom of a plastic base. I think that's Mr. Saeed himself, or Mr. Said. Okay. So, thanks for making this car. It's just not very often you see a customized classic Ford that isn't a Mustang. Alright, so as usual, I'm going to pop in on this front wheel. Alright, sorry for the vibration. This phone's on a sprung boom mount. It's actually like one of those cheap lamps with the spring arms, and I just took the lamp off and put a camera mount on it. Well, anyways, the wheel looks nice. I don't know what it is, what brand of wheel that is, but sadly, no, wait, the rim of that wheel has a dent in it, so that is not so nice. It does have a brake back there, it looks like. I don't know if it's actually part of the same casting as the wheel and they painted it, or if it's a separate piece. I would assume it'd be a separate piece. So that's a real shame about the lip of the rim. That's not cool for the price of a resin model. The tires is pretty nice though. It's not slab sided, it's rounded like an old tire would be. But it's actually maybe it's not an old tire. Look at the tread. It looks like a modern tire. Like it would be like a drift tire or some sort of racing tire. But I like that there's no side blocks like a truck. Okay, yeah, so that is a decal, that graphic. You can see the clear wrinkliness between the white letters. So that's one reason why I don't like decals. They just look wrinkly. It's like an orange peel effect. I don't know if these little silver dots are decals or paint. Hold on. My pick. That's a recess. So it's hard to say. I don't know if those paint. Maybe it's paint. I don't know. Maybe you guys can see better. I'm looking through a screen of a mobile phone. It's not very big, this screen. Alright, well, anyways, you got a bunch of silver dots all over this holding the over fenders on. Okay, I do think it may be paint because here it looks like it's all a little bit messed up. The paint of the main pink is nice. It's not metallic though, it's just a pink. You know, my camera makes this look like a red car. But when I look at it with my own eyes, it is clearly a vivid pink color. The mirrors, yeah, they're separate pieces, but sadly, you know, this one is really angled strangely. This one's got a weird angle. That one looks pretty good. But look how thin the arms are. Be afraid of knocking those off. And it looks like there's a carbon fiber treatment on that mirror. So that's a decal. That's why there's just a chunk of it hanging off to the side. It's the decal itself. So I'd say, yeah, that's not great. The side window here, I almost wish it didn't have side windows. But yeah, it's really thin and you can see right through to the other side nice and easily. So this rear quarter window, it's got a molding on top of it in like a matte black paint finish, and then a decal of some stuff. Okay, some sponsorship on this over fender. You know, pleasantly, I don't see the wrinkliness. No, but I think it is there. Yeah, those are decals. But for some reason, the way I'm holding this model, I don't see that wrinkliness. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is there. But alright, the rear wheel looks good, rear tire looks good. Although again, I'm not sure why, but it looks like this rim is dented right there. So what's going on with that? Is this a poorly designed wheel? Alright, 4 lug nuts. There's some sort of black. Maybe this is a. I guess it's just a detail on the real car. If you look at the rear 3/4 picture, it does have this little triangular top to it. So maybe it's a passive vent or something. Nice. The fuel filler here is a photo etched piece of metal. Very cool. Door handle, yeah, is raised, painted black, and that matches the color on the photograph. I do kind of feel maybe for the price of a resin that could have been a separate piece. I think it probably should have been, instead of just molded in there like a Hot Wheels. Alright, well, let's go to the front. Oh, we didn't even go with the nameplate. Yeah, standard photo etch stuff here. Very crisp because it's etched metal and it's an acrylic base. Alright, so nice. The emblem, Ford emblem, is old school, but it does say Ford, so that's probably a decal. The grille is a photo etched piece of metal, and there's clearly depth behind it. You can see the pink bodywork, and you can see that, I would assume that's the radiator back behind there, because it's crossing down to the bottom vents, which don't have a grille. So you can see the lines of the radiator. This license plate, I would have to imagine that's on the real car. These brake ducts are just, well, I guess they're not brake ducts, but they go all the way through. You can see the white base through them. Maybe these are the turn signals. They're like blacked out like on the real car. Very cool. And got 2 more silver dots here. Yeah, so that's cool. I like that whole fact that the grille is there and you can see the depth behind it. So that is really cool. Yeah, you can see the headlights are behind the grill as well. They're quite sunken back there, actually. I didn't even notice from the front view. But it looks like the headlights have a light bulb. Very cool. You know, a nice chrome bucket, but, you know, clear glass in front of it, or it's probably really plastic. So these hood latches are decals. You can see the wrinkliness there, but the graphic is crisp. You can see those fine dots for the screws holding that down. Some sort of venting in front of the windscreen. Looks alright. And then the stocks for the wiper blades. Yeah, the real car doesn't seem to run wiper blades. And then the windscreen is a two-piece deal. The clear plastic, the matte black rubber molding on top of it, and then some decals, including that. So looks like a tax stamp or registration sticker there. The Malaysian pride there. But sadly, look at this windscreen. This is the problem here, and if you're into collecting these resins, you got to be aware of this. That thing popped off, probably because it's not supposed to be a flat window, right? It's supposed to be bent, but unfortunately, it's under tension, and I'm guessing they didn't bother bending this piece of metal. But see, that's not good. You know, you're seeing this giant air gap here. So hold on. The problem is these things are so small, to try to get glue under that and then hold it there, I think you're going to probably end up staining the model. So I'm not sure what glue they use to put these together, but clearly it's not good having that air gap. The roof, not much to it. Let's hit focus though. I don't know if that's a paint blemish right there. Oh, thankfully, just random stuff. But what is this? That could actually be a scratch. Well, no, maybe I could polish that out. It might just be some sort of smudge. Alright, the rear wing there is just molded in. This side of the car, I think this might be wax residue. I wonder if they might polish these things. See? It's some sort of residue, so I wouldn't be surprised if they hand sand these models to smoothen the orange peel effect, which is a great thing. It's just, but the decals make it look like it's orange peeled again. I don't see any defects really on this side, which is nice. Okay, the rear, retro havoc, and then we have a silver metal piece here for the lock there. Hold on, we hit focus again. There we go. And then the license plate there is a decal. It's a little crooked. I like these taillights. They're so blocky. But you can see the backup light, and you can see some sort of Fresneling or details behind there. You know, as the light bounces around, so it looks like it's like a real taillight, and the amber on the sides. This is yeah, it's got some depth to it. It looks very round. I don't know if it's plastic or metal or what, but it's cool. You know, painted silver. Alright, so start getting into the interior. So that pink is carrying across into the interior. Yeah, it's a real shame. I'm not sure what your monitor is going to show, but this looks like a red car on my phone screen. But it's definitely pink. Maybe in this light here it looks pinker. Alright, some sort of vents or something, and this rear glass also has, you know, the metal piece on top. So luckily, they're really curvaceous windows and windscreen, but these other ones, the side ones are so flat, I don't think they're ever going to pop out. They're not under tension, they're just laying there. It's a possibility this might pop out. I like that it's recessed though, but obviously you saw that one popped out. Oh, there's a nitrous kit it looks like. Or, I mean, what else would that tank be? I'm pretty sure that's nitrous. Yeah, I don't think that dude's scuba diving in here. And then look at the floating hose of that tank. Sorry, that LED is just so bright up there. This, yeah, another floating hose. Oh, I wonder if it could be an air ride suspension, actually. See that thing with the... Maybe that's an air ride system, not nitrous. Yeah, because it's two. Well, leave a comment if you know. I have no clue. You know, I'm just guessing. But there's some straps, black straps holding that tank down. So that's a really well done system of whatever that system is with the floating hoses. Really cool. Back of the seats, yeah, they're just black. There's no holes for the seat belts, which is interesting. I wonder if the real car's like that. The real car seems to run bride seats. Where's my flashlight here? Yep. Yep. The left decal is clearly bride. I don't know what's going on with that right one. Is that a different language? That actually looks like Thai text if I had to guess. But this is a Malaysian car. Maybe that's... I don't know. I don't know what language that is, but... Alright, seatbelts there. They're a decal. And yeah, actually they are holes. But for some reason I couldn't see them here because it's so dark. Oh, they are there. Now you can see the light coming through. Okay, so that's cool. That, yeah, you got some holes for the belts to pass through and then some slide buckles on that decal. And the decal of the harness latches down at the bottom, the lap belt there. Then there's a big red thing in the middle. Maybe that's the e-brake, if I had to guess. The dashboard itself has some bent details there. And the front of the dashboard is black. Interesting. Does that door panel have anything? See if I can focus on that. Alright, definitely an aftermarket steering wheel with some sort of graphic in the middle. Yeah, maybe a decal. Instrument cluster though? I don't... Oh, it's just a blank screen. I think it's like one of those LCD dashboards, but it's not on. It would have been cool if they had something like a decal in there. Yeah, the stick shift there, it looks pretty good. If I could get some light onto it. Not bad for the stick shift. I like the center tunnel is pink. There's a black vent there. And it seems to have black floors. Door panel wise, I don't think there's any details on the door panels. It's just black. Oh, no, there's a little silver. Oh, wait. Some sort of dotted texture. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, that looks like a door handle. Like a gutted out interior panel. And maybe that's the door handle or the window wind down mechanism. Alright. Well, is there a rear view mirror? Hold on. Probably. Just can't get the camera under this. Whoa, there is no rear view mirror. Then again, I don't know if there's one on the real car. Looking at, nope, the real photo, there's no rear view mirror. So this is definitely just a show car. I don't think you'd really want to drive this down the road with no rear view mirror. The roof is just plain. Yeah, alright. Interesting there's no like roll cage. I guess it's not a race car, but it looks like it would be. It's an interesting looking car, how blocky it is. So, I didn't even pay attention to this, but this show car has different front wheels. These are like Watanabe F8 wheels. And these are the ones that are on the model. So, if you're a stickler for that kind of detail, yeah, the front wheels on this don't really match. For me, it doesn't really bother me because I think I'd prefer the thing to have 4 equal wheels, but it's just something to make note of. Just going to bring out 2 other Innos here. So these are die cast. This is the Ford Sierra RS500 Cosworth. It's got cool little photo etched rims on it. So if you don't have a race livery, it's quite nice. That black molding is a Tampo print. Alright. So as much as I love race cars, and you might too, you have to be mindful that when you have all these graphics, these brands very often get lazy and don't want to tampo print all those different colors on there. So that's why they use decals. The problem is, decals are thin films of plastic, so they have air gaps. And you see here it actually cracked. So they look wrinkly, and they have air gaps, so it's not the greatest. Right? Older brands like CMs, even Hot Wheels, they tampo print. You see this? All this cracked yellow because it's floating. There's an air gap right here. So be mindful of that if you're new to collecting. Either it's just not going to look good, or it's going to look cracked and look even worse. Alright, so pleasantly, this doesn't have many graphics. So although there are decals on there, the decals don't cross over a panel gap, so there's no air pockets. And so I think this one will look nice for a long time, except for the popped up windscreen. You can see the size, right, of a modern car. Well, these aren't really modern cars anymore, but the growth, right, from an old car like this. And just look how big this is compared to this little one. Granted, this is a two-door coupe, but heck, this is a two-door, and it's quite big. Here, let me change the angle here for you. Right. Let's get those out of here. Oh. My camera boom there is gone crazy. Focus. Alright, well, I pointed out the faults, so be mindful of that. But for me, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's a pretty cool looking car. The pink is really nice, although you might not see the thing is pink. That rear whatever system back there is really nicely done as well. Ideally, those rims wouldn't have dents in them, and that windscreen wouldn't be popped up. And also when the mirrors, it looks a little bit wonky. But otherwise, it's still pretty nice. So they're actively selling these now. So pick them up if you like this stuff, because eventually they will be gone. Though actually I don't see any sort of limited edition numbering. So maybe they will just have 6 billion of these out there in the market if you care about limited editions. Me, I'm all about I think businesses should just sell whatever they can sell, instead of using limited edition to try to push garbage. So, but this is not garbage. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next Inno64 review. And, well, now that I think of it, if this was actually just a 100% MY64 branded model, I think it would have been better. But, there's definitely some QC issues. Alright, see ya. Take care.